1, 2, 3, 4. Palapalooza. Palapalooza. We're talking to you. I'm Palapalooza. This week on Palapalooza, we featured Tim Pyles, the host of Loudspeaker on 91X every Sunday from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It was a pleasure having Tim Pyles on. He's the mayor of local music. He's the man! Tim Pyles on Palapalooza. Thanks so much for being here, Tim. It was a pleasure chatting with you and hanging out. Without further ado, Tim Pyles on Palapalooza.
It's local music on the radio, playing the best from San Diego. Rock and pop and folk and hip hop, rock and dance and funk and electronic pop. You're listening to Tim Pyles on the radio.
I was like, what station do I put on here? That's a stupid thought.
I don't even listen to it.
Uh-oh. Let's not start with that now.
No, I mean, it's, I listen, but
Yeah.
not a lot.
It's kind of like me being a local musician. I probably listen to more local music than I do like pop stuff. Do you find that true with yourself?
Yeah, it just depends, because I get access to so much music, so I get everything, which, I mean, anybody can get now. It's like, dude, the records come out on a Friday, and you can stream that album on whatever service you have. But yeah, sometimes people aren't searching for that stuff. That's why.
Totally.
I love what I get to do with that, at least with the new music show. It's a little different.
Yeah, FTW.
Yeah.
That's all out of San Diego, correct?
Occasionally there's a San Diego band that might make it.
But that's all you.
Yes.
You're choosing. And Loudspeaker, you're not? You don't have all the say in what plays?
I do.
You do. So how's that different? The two shows?
Well, one's local and one's just new
not.
music.
Okay.
But the new music show is something that gets charted. So there's like a chart, basically. And so those specialty shows around the country get tabulated. And so artists from that can sometimes like get the next bump opportunity. Because like your band, you guys could pay this record promotion company, and they promote to big radio stations, but they're promoting to guys like me, the guys that the radio stations that are the new music fans and like want to absorb music and hear bands. So then you have no guarantee that any of these stations are going to play your band, but you have a better chance than say ever you sending it in just randomly to them, because it's kind of like having a label. That they basically serve as that purpose for you. You know, they're going to send your music under their umbrella of their promotion company. They already have relationships with the people like me at these radio stations.
This is gold right up front. And who is this exactly?
Well, there's multiple companies.
Okay.
Uncle is one, and I work for them.
Okay.
So you would pay them and send them, 50 copies of your record or whatever. And
we're just thinking for locals listening. So Uncle, okay. That's one.
There's another one, Syndicate.
Okay. Just searching.
Pirate.
Right.
Terrorbird. Some focus maybe more in the college radio world.
Okay.
Of which there's like a whole charting system within the college radio that the specialty shows kind of fall under in a weird way, but it's its own thing too. So, a band can chart on one of those things, and you just may never get that. I'll play you on Loudspeaker, of course, but that's where by me helping, say a local band is actually doing one of those campaigns nationally around the country, then that's where like I would play them on the specialty show.
Gotcha.
Over also Loudspeaker, because then it benefits them. They might chart higher. So I definitely want to play a band. Like the most recent one is Hyrie.
Okay.
And she's kind of a reggae pop artist. Her new song is like a total ska track.
And she's associated with one of those? Uncle's
the one she's working with, and then she's a San Diego-based artist.
Good input for locals, up front. Give us some more nuggets, man. Give us some more. So that's sort of FTW is the step up sort of bands that are maybe a little more active nationally.
But yeah, and it could be a big label band. I mean, I might play the new song from Beck, or or whoever, the people that are familiar with. But then I'm also breaking new bands that I've discovered that I love. Like, in the last year, it's been all about Idols and the Fontaines DC and the Murder Capital and a band called Life.
I'll have to listen to all of those.
All very post-punkish sounding kind of bands.
What is your genre of choice? We've talked about this in studio. And if you don't know Tim Pyles, he hosts Loudspeaker every Sunday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., and FTW, which we kind of covered up front there, which features sort of national acts out of San Diego. New music.
From the world, FTW.
You're the mayor of local music. Who gave you that name?
That is a self-proclaimed title.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Did you think of that? Because it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's totally appropriate.
It was out there in the ether and available to just start claiming it.
Is that trademarked?
No, but it's something that I've been using for many years, as much as my face.
Right.
Because that kind of became a goofy and fun way to promote a dude that's on the radio.
Do you really have the tattoo of your face on your back? I saw that somewhere.
You'll see it when I jump in the pool.
Tim is going to jump in my pool. It's
cold.
Your dick's going to go inside you, 100%. But I'd love to take some video of that. I will not be joining you, but
I don't know. We'll see.
It's a little chilly. I don't know if I'd let you do that. It might stop your heart.
Thanks.
Lyric asked me yesterday because it's been pretty hot. She's like, "Dad, let's swim." I was like, "Lyric, it's a little cold. That might stop your heart."
Oh, all right.
And she instantly
I'll dip my toe in.
Became uninterested. So how long? 30 years Loudspeaker, correct? Just celebrating 30 years on 91X.
Into
the whole time?
31st year.
Crazy. How long have you hosted?
So I kind of weaseled my way in the late 90s.
Right.
I became a 30-year-old intern. I've told this story before. I'd studied broadcasting. I had several associate's degrees in radio, film, television, but wasn't.
Where'd you go?
San Diego City College.
Okay, City College, cool.
And so I'd worked for my brother-in-law's construction company for a few years. I actually worked for law firms for maybe 8 or 9 years, kind of in a support role, not a paralegal, but more like office space kind of supporting.
Bands contact him for legal advice.
And then that kind of ended, and I, like, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
Where are you? So at 30, I became an intern for J-Core Broadcasting 91X. Also at the same time, I was taking a class at SDSU. I happened to find a job posted for the company that I was already interning for, and it was the best entry-level job ever. It also opened the door for me to have, it literally opened the door for me because once I was on the payroll, I had a key card. And once you have access to the building, I could get into the building whenever I wanted to. And maybe use the studios in the middle of the night or start showing up to Loudspeaker, which back then was buried on the radio Monday evenings at midnight. So it was the perfect opportunity for somebody that had no real professional broadcasting experience. I mean, I'd done college radio, but I was able to get on that show and kind of
get your feet wet a bit.
Push the other guys aside, who continued to host with me for a while, but I definitely took the reins. Awesome. And ended up, when bosses change or companies change, sometimes things change. So at some point, different co-hosts were thrown in. The last one I had was with Al Guerra, and Al Guerra is kind of an icon within local music and been a guy that's done local radio programs for many years. But he came to 91X leaving 94.9. So then something very sad happened to me, and I've told this story before, but I actually had an incident with my vehicle. I was using a company vehicle for a period of time. It was kind of available to use. It was part of a job I did. But anyway, I was taking it home. I was also DJing a happy hour thing at the Whistle Stop, and I got pulled over leaving the Whistle Stop one night by a lovely Officer Sweat in South Park, who is notorious.
Sweat was the actual name, right?
Yes, Officer Sweat.
You remember?
Oh, yeah. And many people have had personal experiences with him in the South Park area.
Sweat, huh?
Needless to say,
I haven't heard that story. Did you get a DUI? Okay.
Yeah, DUI in a company car.
that's not good.
Is a lot different than a DUI in your own car.
Right.
Because the company is immediately made aware of the situation. So, yeah, I was unceremoniously let go, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And within about 8 months, I was hosting the 94.9 show that Al Guerra had left.
Wow.
In the interim of him leaving, a local DJ and musician, Anya Marina, had taken the reins.
Right.
And so my mentor, Mike Halloran, who I had never worked with at this point, he got me hired over there.
He mentored you quite a bit, huh?
He was just, And
he's still active. What's he doing? He's doing the TJ/San Diego sort of
That's not
station?
going on anymore.
It isn't?
No.
Oh, what was that?
That was More FM 98.9.
More FM. That's gone already.
Well, the station still exists, but
he's just not doing it.
The thing he was a part of is not anymore. So I understand.
Halloran's another local legend. Absolutely.
Of course, yeah. He's helped a lot of bands, been instrumental in Jules and Blink-182's jump starts of their careers, and definitely been a figurehead here in San Diego. I heard some good news. Something might be happening in his world, but I guess it's not ready for announcing yet, and I'm not aware of what it is. But something good, I guess. So
sure.
He's definitely a face in San Diego that's elevated things for everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Much like I've tried to do.
Yeah, and you have more of a face around town, literally, with the stickers. And who designed that? Stray off here for a second.
A great friend of mine, Grant Raniero. He's a filmmaker, artist, musician, Renaissance man.
Shout out Grant.
Yeah.
If you see, you may even subliminally or subconsciously seen Tim Pyles' face around town. You got stickers and you got shirts, right? And I think some people have made you buttons.
Stickers and buttons.
I'm down to get a tattoo, man. Like maybe next time I'm in Studio 91X, we can have a tattoo artist come in. That'd be dope.
I'm in. I was laughing because that damn Trump minion, Roger.
Roger, the guy that just stoned,
He's got a tattoo of Richard Nixon right on the center of his back.
Shut up.
And I just laughed, but also kind of related strangely. But I don't have my idol on my back. I have myself.
Right.
I'm my own idol.
Yeah. You're my idol.
Oh, stop it, Cook.
You're Cookie. You went to a show last night. Do you want to shout that out?
Yeah, Hiroshima Mockingbirds.
Yeah, at the Casbah.
We had Shades McCool, and the Surrealistics. All great bands.
So you're booking for the Casbah, right?
I help fill in the blanks. Let's say that. When the owner, Tim Mays, has filled the month, and he's got, open nights and no touring acts, then I will fill those nights. Lots of Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays for the most part, which are, can be rough for a local band.
Right. And I heard you even talk last night on Loudspeaker. I tuned in for Nights Like Thieves, my buddy, Mario.
By the way, he did say that correctly. I made that video.
Did he give you shit about that? I gave him shit about that.
You gave him shit. And I thought it was really funny the way he kind of said that because
I thought it was fucked up.
I thought it was more like, no, cool, I made the video, but then he made it. The inflection was like, no, you made the video.
You made it.
Unreal.
I was happy
I'll
to be
let that
included.
slide.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
You were here for the Young and Dumb video shoot, and it's a very pop punk sort of superficial song, but that was very
Isn't that
fun.
what all pop punk songs are? They're not deep and serious.
Yeah, I guess if it's deep and serious, it's like emo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Thank you.
But yeah, that was cool. You were hanging out with Sulo. You want to shout him out? You guys have a long relationship. Yeah, fuck you, Sulo.
Why would I ever want to shout out
I'll tell you
Sulo
exactly
King?
why. Because you guys go to Disneyland together, dude.
We did it once.
You did it once.
No, I like the King. He's
How
a
was
good
that?
kid.
Yeah, he's cool.
He talks a lot, but I love him.
Did you listen to his episode?
No.
It was 2 hours of him talking. I didn't get one fucking word in, dude.
You're not getting... I know, exactly. That's why I'm always scared to have him on loudspeakers.
Sulo has a great heart, man. He's got a really big heart. I love Sulo. I really do.
He has elevated San Diego in his ways and through his his band or his recording studio or the rehearsal spaces, and now he's moving in the next level. He's going to open up a new rehearsal space. Right,
totally. Yeah.
And bands need it, you don't have a guy like him. Plus, he's in a band, it's great.
Yeah.
It's good for the bands.
I would think that would be a lucrative endeavor, rehearsal spaces. I haven't looked into it too much. Have you?
No, I've not. I mean, I really love what TJ from
Right.
FM 94.9.
We're at his studio.
And then, of course, the Phaser Control and Studio 350. Like, that setup is really nice. He's got a great little... It's a beautiful space.
He's got the recording studio there that Unwritten Law tracked their new album there.
Yep. And 91X does a lot of their sessions there.
Yeah, you do the 91X sessions. Yeah, I saw that with the Interrupters, I think was the most recent sort of larger one. Those guys are blowing up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Interrupters, yeah.
I don't really care anymore.
So, how many shows do you go to a week, would you say?
It just all depends, this is the time of the year I do like to maybe hibernate a little bit around the holidays. I enjoy all my Christmas decorations and
you hibernate with Chloe,
with Chloe and
Chloe the cat.
No, Chloe the dog.
Chloe's the dog. I'm sorry.
I don't have any cats.
Oh, okay.
I've had cats.
I read that you had 5 cats, but no longer.
They're 5 dogs.
5 dogs.
Where do you get 5 cats? I have 2 pugs, Mojo and Macy.
Oh man.
I have 2 wiener dogs. That is Calvin and
The
Chloe.
wiener dogs, yeah.
And I have a Chihuahua named Maya.
Okay.
Yes.
5 dogs.
And a snake, Apollo.
Just shit all over your place or what? You got them pretty trained?
Shit all over the place.
They're shitting everywhere? Fender's pretty good. I have 1 dog, but honestly, like...
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice backyard, and so...
Good. Okay,
cool. At least a nice, not as big as your backyard. But
Yeah.
But space, space for the dogs, and they're a little, they're their own little posse, so...
Sure. So going back to music, have you checked out the Magnolia? Right down the street here in the anus of San Diego?
El Cajon? That's the anus of San Diego.
That's what I call El Cajon.
It's the box, man.
The box.
I've performed on that stage many years ago. Probably when I was in high school. Sure. I hosted like an event there. I was kind of a briefly a theater guy, like in high school. I enjoyed musical theater. I performed in what was it called? Carnival, I think.
Really?
Anyway, no, excited about that space. It's a wonderfully acoustic design space.
Right. Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
And it was the ECPAC, right?
Yeah.
East County Performing Arts Center, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah. I think Pat Benatar played there recently. King Diamond's going to play there. King Diamond last time at Observatory was amazing. So
we're loving it.
I would like to see King Diamond. But that's, hey, San Diego's blowing up. It's interesting.
Bringing some class to El Cajon, baby. I love it.
Downtown El Cajon deserves to be a better destination than it is given credit for.
Right.
Yes, it has a reputation of dudes on bikes and meth and
yellow powdery stuff,
and a lot of flat-billed dudes that like to have lifted trucks.
Big trucks out here. It's the desert kind of crowd, and I don't mean to hate on El Cajon. Like,
no.
I'm pretty much born and raised out here, so I know.
I can tell.
Fuck off. I know the areas to go to. There are hills covering El Cajon, so all of those surrounding El Cajon. So all of those houses up there on the hills are like amazing.
You live in Bostonia.
Bostonia. Yeah, I guess it is. This is sheriff territory.
Yeah.
This is unincorporated.
Bostonia, and then well, just down the hill there used to be wasn't it the Bostonia Ballroom? I mean, or there's a spot. It's a restaurant.
Soul Kitchen. Remember that spot?
Of course, but back even before our time, a lot of honky tonk. I think Johnny Cash.
Right.
A lot of people played at this location out here in East County. Yeah.
There's the Second Wind that has live music. Have you been there?
I never come out here for
frequent there often?
No.
Where do you live?
I live by SDSU, College Grove, by Sam Ash.
By Sam Ash, okay. They just had an event, and my friends in Avenue Army were playing that.
Yes.
Celebrating their signing to Cleopatra. Riot Scene, you got to shout out Peter from Riot Scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ambitious, like trying to do that show on the beach that didn't go over so well, but like that didn't stop him. He continues to produce things, and he'll probably eventually get a show on the beach that'll go down. But
Legacy stepped up, yeah.
I thought that was a little ambitious. I knew something. Probably, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I guess basically what it came down to, I was talking to Peter about that, is because he was promoting it too much.
Yeah.
You know,
and they freaked out.
They didn't want it to be like a public event. Like,
right.
I think he sold it as like a private sort of thing.
Right.
You know, that was very ambitious. Peter is the man. We love you, Peter.
Got to push the envelope. Got to try. You got
to try.
Then next time, then they'll have a better understanding, and hopefully you can pull something like that off. You know. Hey, bureaucracy.
So, dude, have you played in a band? I have Banana Seeds down here. Like, what's your background in music? Banana Seeds, were you in that band?
That was my band, bitch.
That was your band, bitch.
It had a question. It had a question mark though, so it was more like the Banana Seeds?
Question mark. Okay.
Yeah.
What was your instrument? What
I played drums.
You played drums. Okay.
Yeah.
You still play?
No. I mean, I have a drum set, but I haven't played in a while. I was kind of a hack.
Electric kit in my garage. Let's take some video.
I was kind of a hack, and it was just a fun thing to do. But I had a kit ever since. I mean, my mom bought me one when I was a young kid, like 11 years old. But
right on. Kind
of took some lessons, mostly self-taught, but kind of a hack. The most recent opportunities that I actually played was when 94.9, when all of us were still there, and they did this house band stuff. Mm-hmm. So when we'd have a holiday show with big bands, the Hives or whoever, the 94.9 house band would open. And so the first year I played drums for that, and then I think Halloran wanted a better drummer. Just because everybody was hacks, we needed somebody that could, really, really keep the band together. So then I got to sing, and that was fun too.
Really?
I think I sang a Reckless Eric song one year and a Ramon song one year.
Well, on Palapalooza, kind of something unique that we do is we have the bands jam back here, acoustic. So do you want to rock out later?
I'm good. I'm good.
You can have a little more of that whiskey, dude. No? We'll see.
We'll see. But I've always loved music. 91X was a huge thing in San Diego.
It's always been big. God, I remember that when I was in the 80s. I remember the yellow and black sticker, man. 91X is like...
Through the 80s, hugely iconic and drove the culture of the city.
It's time for something new, something good, too. 91X FM.
Good morning. John and Mary with you, and welcome to 91X FM. We're all very excited about this brand new radio venture. You'll hear the best in rock and roll.
Beyond that, once you get Nirvana and you start getting...
it was like Rock 105 and 91X, I'd say, right?
They were Rock 102 even back then.
Rock 102.1, huh? I remember
But 91X definitely before any of that.
Absolutely.
And just broke open the window, kicked the door down of what was on the radio at that point.
Sure.
And it created a lifestyle, the X Fest, and I mean everybody went to these things.
X Fest.
And that's what 91X was, your singular point of listening to cool new music. And obviously over the years it changes, it gets corporatized, a little bit more playlist kind of driven, and then now who really knows what's going on with radio, because how do they compete with, streaming and all these services? So it's not your singular source like it was, and which creates kind of a monoculture around that now. There's just so much to absorb, right?
Right. What do you think your future is, the future is for radio? Do you think radio is going to be around in 20 years?
Yeah, I think it's important that it's still around, because it's still an access. You and I love music, but these people in the valley and around here, they have lives, they have kids, jobs. Music is not the focus point. So for them to tune into their favorite radio station, that's their point. I mean, it's their access point, and it's simple, and it's there, and they're not maybe into all the streaming. So, and it's free.
Have you ever thought about anything with like satellite radio with yourself? Or are you pretty happy where you're at?
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I have
I'm just shooting from the hip.
Enough of a footprint. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity to do something. I mean, I have friends that work for Sirius XM and stuff like that.
Right.
Another mentor, a guy that gave me opportunities. He was the music director at 91X when I started in the late 90s. His name's Chris Muckley.
Cool.
He's up in Los Angeles now and works with Sirius XM, and good guy.
We got to shout out Rolly and Lou Niles, your partners in crime, right?
Sure, yeah. Roberto's Media and In Your Neighborhood with Lou Niles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are kind of their separate umbrella things that they do.
Okay, very cool. Are you still doing the video interviews in the van with the panda and all that fun stuff? That was pretty cool.
We did 2 of those.
Was that Listen San Diego? What was that?
That was just something myself and the panda created.
Who is the panda?
If you don't know, then I can't tell you, I guess.
That's the secret. Okay. Okay.
That fucking panda. I don't know if she's that fucking panda anymore.
Okay.
I think she wants to be able to market herself a little better. So kind of hard with fucking in your name. But who knows? It's a new world, and things have changed so much. But
are you still doing that? I saw a couple cool bands.
We've done 2 of them, and I think we were looking for sponsors. If anybody wants to sponsor it, then we'll do a 3rd one.
And what was that called?
Band rides.
That's right, band rides. And you were in a van with the bands, you interview them, and then you go to like a remote location and have them jam. I saw you guys on a bridge.
We did the...
I would not do that, dude. I'm like sketch with heights.
The First Avenue Suspension Bridge, Spruce Street Bridge.
Fuck that.
And then we did one at
But that was cool, though.
The Mission Hills Pioneer Park, is that what it's called? With the headstones at the far side of the park, and it was a cemetery that became a park.
Exactly,
and I believe the bodies are still there.
Right.
Just
we frequent that place because we're really into ghost hunting.
Sure,
my family and I. So we go out there with the EMF meter, and it's really cool. It's really creepy. Is that Mission Hills?
Yep.
Yeah, right there,
if you go in the parking lot, you'll actually see asphalt divots that are the perfect rectangular shape of what would be digging for a coffin.
It's super creepy. Like we just went there. That's funny you bring that place up. I think my dad dared me to go back by the headstones by myself back in the day and just kind of hang out. And I did it for a few minutes.
Sure.
It was freaky.
The goths have been going there since goth became a thing. Like that's their park. Come on.
What is that park called? Pioneer
Park, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so you still got 2 bands you did there, and that venture is
just trying to maybe fine tune it, and a sponsor would be nice.
I thought it was cool.
We want a weed sponsor.
A weed sponsor, yeah. You big smoker?
I enjoy
You enjoy it?
I enjoy the weeds.
Yeah. A sativa or?
I like the indicas.
The indicas. That keeps you a little more active, right? It doesn't.
The sativas would.
Sativas would. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a spaz, so I need.
So you like to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You don't want to see me. No, I'm kidding.
It's all like, it's crazy how that whole like industry has changed. I mean, since I was a kid, it's like,
yeah.
I always say this. Someone came up to me maybe a few years ago and asked me for weed, and I was like, dude, can't you go to the store for that shit nowadays? Like, why are you asking me? It's pretty much, it's legal, right? Is it legal in California?
Yeah.
Is that a gray area?
Yeah, there's grocery stores. I mean, they're not grocery stores, but
right.
A couple of them feel like Apple stores. They're just very nice and pristine, and you go there and get your marijuana.
Really crazy. Right on, man. Well, we're going to do a couple quick segments with you. I'm going to do rapid fire. I'm just going to shoot some random questions at you. It can be short answer,
Rapid fire.
Get a little bit closer on the mic, Tim. Don't you know, like, mic control, man? Like, with all the years you've been on radio?
Up. You have to tell me sometimes.
Favorite genre of music?
Post-punk.
Really? Okay. Name a couple local bands that would fit that.
Warsaw. Daggers 86. Crocodiles.
Cool. Okay.
There's a few.
Favorite local venue?
Casbah.
Yeah, of course. Who did you listen to growing up, like in high school or as a kid?
First concert I ever saw that my mother from the Midwest took me to, and her mind was blown. She knew a little bit about what she was getting into until, of course, somebody tried to offer her a doobie. But my mother took me to see Knights in Service of Satan. That would be Kiss.
Best name ever.
In 1977, I believe. Cheap Trick was the opener. So Kiss was my band.
Kiss.
Definitely through junior high school. And then I was introduced to the mod culture in Southern California, and I was a huge ska fan, two-tone ska fan, British ska bands, Bad Manners, Madness the Specials, English Beat, The Selector.
There you go.
Not a fan of third wave ska, really, at all.
Okay.
Huge fan of all the British ska. And American bands like The Untouchables and Fishbone are favorites, still, obviously, to this day. But then I kind of, I loved a lot of the 60s garage rock, which is something that's kind of coming back really popular these days. But the whole mod scene back then was really fun. And it wasn't just me and my peers. Immediately, we were the Scooter Boys. We were very into the ska. But then you also had guys like Bart Mendoza.
Right.
And they would be like, the suit-wearing mods.
Totally.
So you had a whole element of that. And then you had the somebody like Mike Stax and his band, The Loons.
Yeah.
So they were more like the psychedelic mods, a little bit more of that flair of the psychedelic thing. And then, you had the more pristine Beatlesque, somebody like a Bart Mendoza.
Sure.
And then you had us guys. We were the more rugged we could look like skinheads, some of us, because we would wear the Fred Perrys
you
and the Doc
like
Martens.
A skinhead, man.
Back then I had hair, so I was doing, anyway,
Did you?
I still have some hair.
Yeah, you got some. You said mod, so instantly I thought of Mr. Bart Mendoza, who we had on here. True stories. Anything else you want to shout out there?
Well, we were in a scooter club together, which still exists today, Secret Society Scooter Club, which was formed the same year that 91X was in 1983, September 3rd, 1983.
I was 3 years old.
A group of dudes started it, and it grew to quite a few people. one of the best pictures I've shared it recently. There's probably 30 of us in the photo, and we used to meet at Presidio Park. That's our secret location. But
right.
I just gave it away.
I know.
But every Sunday, you can still, to this day, see guys at La Posta on Washington Street about 7:30. Maybe not 20 or 30 scooters like in the old days, but you'll see a handful of scooters and guys eating and then taking off to wherever they're going to meet.
When is the last ride you went on?
Probably when Secret Society celebrated its an anniversary.
That picture that you posted, I think I saw that. Or
that picture was from back in the day.
Right, I saw that. I did see that.
Back in the day.
That's very cool, man.
84 or 85.
How fun. And these are like, obviously electric or gas-powered?
These are...
we spoke with Bart about that.
Vespa and Lambretta. Those were the two primary scooters. They were
nice.
Two-stroke, but they were, like mine, the one I had, which was a P200, was freeway legal. And I put a racing kit on it, which was dumb. Because I had friends, one of my best friends to this day, he is such a great mechanic, which begins with working on scooters, that he's a professional race mechanic for, real motorcycle race teams.
Right.
But it all started with him tinkering around on scooters. But yeah, I had that for a few years as my main mode of transportation, and had it all decked out, and had a couple accidents, and after the last accident, it's like...
That was it.
But it's weird because I have a scooter now, and I've had it for quite a few years, but I do not drive it. You can take this cowl off of it, and I've taken it with me to most of those ska band shows that I've mentioned and had them sign it. So I have all these autographs on part of it. I also have who is considered to be the mod father, the king of all mods, Paul Weller, who was also the frontman for a band called The Jam. He signed my scooter years ago when he played a show at 4th and B. So I have his autograph on it, and then a bunch of specials, Madness Selector, English Beat.
That's awesome, man.
So it's all autographed. So yeah, we'll see what I do with that someday. I don't know. I may ride it again. It's just weird.
Keep it. Don't sell it. Keep it.
My wife hates it.
Really?
So yeah.
How long have you been married?
We've been together for a long time. I met her in TJ in 1985.
Okay.
And we've kind of been dating since then.
Yeah. Dang, okay. Never an official wedding?
Yeah, we're married.
Oh, okay, you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, man.
It's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. 85. Damn.
Yeah.
So
we had a real wedding.
34 years?
Real wedding near here, actually.
Okay.
Catholic church. And God bless her. Sharon Ann Miklish Pyles.
Right on, man.
She puts up with me.
Yeah. What's some advice for a young local band here in San Diego? From Mr. Tim Pyles. Someone wanking around on their guitar right now, trying to get into the scene, trying to get a band started. What's some two do's and two not do's?
Don't be a dick.
That'd be cool, right?
Just you gotta hang out. If you find or you recognize something or a scene or bands you like. I mean, there's been developing scenes that I hadn't seen for quite a few years. Kind of a little hub around a certain band. So the Schizophonics are a center point.
Totally.
Of which a lot of stuff kind of hovers around them like a solar system, but they've changed the face of San Diego music in many ways and inspired people, and it's a whole thing, right?
Right.
I mean, because he's amazing. It's crazy. They've been to Europe and played Europe more than they've probably played North America, but I don't know if this was their first. They've done several, but it's great to see them traversing America. But obviously the reception for what they're doing can be a lot more immediate in the UK or in Spain, where people like Elvez or John Reese from Rocket from the Crypt have also opened doors for him, which is amazing. But there's definitely a circle around them. There's a band called Fashion Jackson,
right?
Which
we
is
had them on.
A younger band that definitely there's a thing around them, kind of.
They're creating like a what would you call that? Like a
it's a scene,
a sphere of influence, or a scene.
It's a scene.
Like a club, or
kind of.
Like
you have.
It tends to be a little and not in a bad way, but cliquey a little bit, right? The scene.
I don't know. Kids are so much different now.
Right.
I don't know. I think they're different, and I think it's all more accepting.
Sure.
Especially within the Fashion Jackson world, those guys are.
These guys are rad.
There's no attitude.
Not
nothing.
At all.
Very
humbled and very respectful.
Well, if you insist, I think you're cool and all, but I have a boyfriend.
That band has benefited so many ways by. This has never happened in my life, but my boss at the radio station has sons that are now. One's in his first year of college, and the other one's still in high school. But they fell in love with the band Fashion Jackson, befriended the band, or the band befriended them, not even knowing that their dad was the boss of a big radio station in San Diego.
Wow.
So that has influenced him a little bit.
Being cool. Just being cool to people. And
he fell in love with the band through that personal experience, but then also his sons. And I've never experienced that. It's kind of interesting.
Have they benefited from that relationship since that happened? I know they're playing 1975, Catfish and the Bottlemen. They're getting hooked up here and there.
Yeah, the 19. They probably would have been a local break, regardless of all of this, because it's a band that we love at Loudspeaker.
They're sick.
But
I love them.
The fact that his sons have been, championing the band and supporting the band and talking about them, then it's happened, and it's really cool, to be honest. It made my job easier, actually. So lucky for them, they've had some really great opportunities, and I would say playing December 5th, opening up for the 1975 is probably the biggest.
And they are uber fans of 1975 too.
Yeah.
The singer's name, once again, is Fashion Jackson. Eddie was we had them on as well on Palapalooza, but he was just so excited. He's a legit fan.
They're great kids, man. They really are, and very, very, very deserving.
And really good advice for locals. Be cool.
Yeah, exactly,
Great advice. Love it. We've talked about a lot of bands here locally, but what is a favorite band to come from San Diego, man? You've mentioned Schizophonics, probably Rocket would be up there, right? You saw them recently, right? And I think, did you do an interview with them?
No, I did not.
And I have a follow-up question regarding the Rocket from the Crypt show.
No Knife.
There you go. What do you think of Blink-182?
I'm okay with them. It's definitely something that has got an amazing impact on what we've experienced here in San Diego. I'm still getting bands sending me music that sound exactly, from that mold. So it's still
created a big splash.
It still occurs.
Yeah.
At that point, though, for me, that's also right when I was coming up through Loudspeaker, and that was just everything was pop punk.
Right.
And I was looking for more bands like Rocket from the Crypt and stuff,
Totally.
Stuff that was more interesting. San Diego is known for two things more than anything, and I think that, the beachy culture, reggae music, is something that permeates from our town, and then the pop punk thing,
With the beachy and reggae, what bands would you associate with that? You talking Slightly Stupid?
Well, Slightly Stupid, but even before that,
Okay, maybe even before I was.
Sublime is the band that opened the floodgates for a lot of the bro reggae and just that element of it. Because look where we live,
Right.
The beach culture permeates the whole city, really. I think here in San Diego, although obviously Ocean Beach is a hub. But what I've found is just recently that those kids from the beach area are starting to start much more interesting bands. This has been going on the last few years. So these guys that maybe would have been just in another fucking reggae band are doing cool shit.
Right.
or maybe these bands were too hippie for me, too granola, and now they're indie. They got this little more indie flair. So like over the last few years, the Varigolds were a great example of kind of an Ocean Beach band. And then these guys in modern history, like
I was going to shout them out.
Like
yeah, that's funny you mentioned that.
Stuff is ridiculous. Like
really cool, huh?
They're such unique guys in the band individually, and then the music is really entertaining and kind of party, vibe.
Really cool.
Your number's worn out in my phone.
I even hear some Doors in their stuff a little bit. You know what I mean? Just had them on. We got to shout out Garage Mahal as well.
Yeah.
Have you kind of Garage Mahal sessions?
Familiar? Yeah.
You're familiar with that? Yeah. Jesse's kind of running that, and a few of the guys.
See, Jesse's the guy. Like, dude, he looks like he should be in a reggae.
Right?
Band,
Yeah. 100%. I wouldn't say that they're reggae at all. More indie, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
it's more like an art rock band. That's what I mean. It's
they're
like,
cool.
They're kind of.
I like them.
Kind of just doing something really interesting to me.
I think they're cool. I always give love to these guys. They just played our Halloween show, Aviator Stash.
Yeah, great. Another one.
Super unique, super cool guys.
Yep.
Talented, good.
Yeah, I like booking both those bands together.
Yeah, absolutely. They're good buddies. I guess really when it comes down to it, it's about creating a unique sound, right, with the band?
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
you kind of lose track of that, but that is the goal, right?
Sure. You want to. I mean, you take your influences, hopefully, but, hopefully you don't wear them on your sleeve and sound exactly like
and copy
those bands.
Sure. Yeah. Tim Pyles in the house, baby. Let's go.
Palapalooza in the house.
It's Palapalooza, dude.
Like
you wouldn't call this tiki hut a Palapa.
Yeah.
It's a Palapa.
Palapalooza.
Palapa. I like Palapalooza.
You said that on 91X, dude.
I did.
Like,
Oh, sorry.
Man. You're ruining my whole game here, bro.
It's not Palo Reservation. We're close, though, aren't we?
Paula? I used to work there. I used to deal cards at Paula Casino. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
For a few months. Yeah,
Palapalooza.
Palapalooza.
Yeah.
And that was coined by Will Castro of Escalera, which I'm not wearing the shirt. I thought I was, but
of Western Settings.
Western Settings, yeah. Who's
I saw him
active.
I saw him Saturday in Balboa Park with his girlfriend and their dog, and they were playing Pokemon Go.
Just cruising around town.
Yeah, just playing
Fucking
Pokemon
dork,
Go. And I was like, wow.
Dorking out, huh,
I
Will?
love that guy.
He's cool.
He's another guy that elevates San Diego.
Do you remember 3
Big
Foot?
time.
Do you remember
I vaguely
3 Foot?
do. Yeah, okay.
So he was the guitar player. Yeah, he's done. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
but
fine.
We go way back, man. 90s, late 90s pop punk kind of era.
See?
I love Will.
Pop punk.
But yeah, you were gonna say he's done a lot for the scene. Elevating it.
Yeah.
Give him
with
props.
With his festival, with his label, with his
Sure.
promotion acumen, like everything.
Sure. We love you, Will. That'll be $100. Favorite interview ever that you've done? And we got to shout out Oasis. Was that Noel Gallagher? I mix him up. Who was probably up there, right? For you?
Yeah.
That was at the Smashing Pumpkins show, right?
That's definitely top 10. Yeah.
Top 10. I've seen that you've met Robert Plant. I know that you've met Mick Jagger.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. We can get into that.
Just quick meetings, nothing fancy, but nice to shake their hands and no photo with Robert Plant. I do have one with Mick Jagger, which is cool. That's back when Mick Jagger had a solo album in the late 90s in Vegas for the Radio Music Awards. And this was early in my career, but I'd already made a little bit of an impact, so I knew like some of the label people that were then there. Yeah. And so this one woman that worked with the particular label, Virgin Records, was she befriended me. We were friends, so she got me into this very exclusive opportunity to meet Mick Jagger, of which they were kind of program directors from big radio stations around the country, that could make a difference in not that he needs to make a difference in his career, but on that solo record. Yeah. And so those kinds of people were there, and I just hung out and waited and got my opportunity and got this beautiful 8x10 professionally taken of me and Mick Jagger.
Where is that?
I have it at home. It's
It's hung up.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
It's not like hung up, but yeah, it's visible.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool, man. That's very cool. So interview wise, let's say number one interview that you've done besides Ready, Set, Survive, and the worst interview you've ever done, or something that comes to mind that was just like total fuckery, or like maybe.
So I posted this. So some of my interviews, get edited.
Sure, a little post-production.
Some things don't. Maybe it's something I personally posted. So stuff for San Diego, for the most part, I'm pretty good. There might be some awkward moments,
man. No,
but
you're really good.
I always get great feedback from the artist, and even if it's an artist I'm not like uber passionate about, I can professionally do a really good interview with them.
You do a really great job, and I saw you last weekend with OK Go, and that was really cool. Those guys
are amazing and very giving.
I'm stoked to see they're still active.
Oh yeah.
The one time I went to the Tonight Show recording live with Jay Leno, they were the musical guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyways, yeah. So it comes down to maybe post-production to you in regards to interview?
No, there's just one interview I did with this band I love.
Let's
I love
talk
this
some
band.
Shit. No, just
so this band is called Fat White Family, and they're a British band, and they're kind of a druggy-esque couch surfing band out
Never would have guessed that by the
name. UK. Right. But yet they're like an impactful artist and very creative.
I could not believe it, could not believe my eyes. The thing that I saw down there, down between your thighs.
So they play the Casbah, and this interview wasn't for San Diego or anybody, so I set up my little GoPro camera, my microphone, and I interview them for about 15 minutes maybe, and it's the whole interview. And there's maybe some cringeworthy moments. Mm-hmm. Maybe I fanboyed out a little, or maybe the direction of what I was trying to get out of him was lost in translation. We're both English speaking, but yet his
just
life experience was much different than my life experience. Right. But the most hilarious thing is British people will watch that interview, and I get slagged so hard on YouTube. I mean, it's my YouTube page. I posted this, but every once in a blue moon, I get this like comment, like, because people love the band. They're a great, really cool band. And they find this interview and they, cringe-worthy.
Bald American interviewing.
Yeah, this is the reason America sucks. Like a couple things, and I'm like,
this guy's got to be a Trump supporter.
I respond to everyone, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. You guys just don't get it. I was a fanboy geeking out. But here's also the sad part, and it's another example of what depresses me about San Diego. Like, that band is amazing, and there weren't a lot of people at the show. And San Diego really lets me down with like these types of bands that are
out-of-towners coming through.
Very, eclectic and pushing the envelope and the shit.
Where were they
there's
from?
Nobody there. They're a British band.
They're okay.
But then recently, this other British band that I'm fanboying out over, that I did a session with their first time in San Diego and interviewed them for San Diego, is this British band called Idols.
My mother worked 15 hours, 5 days a week. My mother worked 16 hours, 6 days a week.
And they're blowing up. Their second show at Observatory was sold out.
Awesome.
And my friend described them the best way. He said they're the most woke band in existence right now. Just saying how this band is so accepting and open and kind of, blurring the lines and just how they kind of appeal to people in this world of like, everything's acceptable and every human's acceptable. And, don't alienate anybody. Make everybody feel loved.
Sure.
It's really interesting.
That is kind of the world we live in, right? I feel like we're headed there. if we're not there, no. Disagree?
Dude, come on. Look at our president creating hate everywhere.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to get into too much politics, but
no.
I definitely feel like with the Me Too and everything that's kind of, some things have been brought to light.
The yin to the yang of the other thing, and hopefully that yin is the stronger force.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned out-of-towners coming here to San Diego, and maybe San Diego not being 100% supportive all the time.
We're a milquetoast town where...
What do you mean by that? Milk toast.
Vanilla. Let's say we're a vanilla city.
Okay.
Where we're lacking in a lot of areas of what I consider to be cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Doing shows at breweries
is
okay.
Okay.
But That's one thing that, okay, it's great that there's all these places to play, but like I'm bummed. Ship in the Woods, right? This is kind of an art collective here in San Diego that was trying to put on these grand, very creative art and music events,
like
very
a festival kind
very
of thing.
thinky and a little bit more heady, and it's kind of faded away right now, I think. But as
would you go so far as to say San Diego doesn't have a lot of culture?
I mean, I guess that's the best way to say it. I mean, it's here, but. Man,
maybe a little more. God, I feel like we're hating on San Diego, but I feel like we can because I'm born and raised.
I know.
You know, if I were from like out of state, maybe people could talk shit. But I've been here 40 years, and how long have you been here?
I mean, I grew up here. I mean, I've been here since I was 40 years old. So yeah, okay. 40 plus. It's just these bands I love. Skip. You'd be surprised if you were a fan of certain things and genres. How many bands skip San Diego. It's happening more and more and constantly.
More just hitting up LA.
It's straight. Well, it's that whole thing where they go from Phoenix straight to LA. We're just like
I've noticed
we don't exist. We really don't exist.
I noticed Dave Matthews Band, who I like to see live a lot. I don't know if you're a fan of theirs. I know you hate them, so I thought I'd set that out.
I could poop on them.
I like them live though. Have you seen them live?
No, actually, in my early days of the internet and all of that, I was very intrigued by that band. This is before. They were signed.
Before they blew up with.
This is before any of it.
Crash Into Me and all that.
But what was so interesting to me about that band was what they had created by being this college touring band on the East Coast.
Right.
Like they had built this insane fan base without radio airplay, without anything, strictly by doing that.
Just touring.
Just touring and being that band. And
dropping shit on people from their van.
That's when they were bigger. But I was really intrigued by that because that was the early days of the internet, and you could find out this stuff about some. I mean, to me, that's what interested me about them. They were obscure.
Right.
Like, what is this? I wanted to know more about it. Now, maybe I was interested in the beginning a little bit, but that's not
out.
me. Not me.
Yeah. My point there
I
was
hate
that
the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay, because I would say they're modern day Grateful Dead, especially when you see them live.
That's the hippie thing.
They're the ultimate jam band, and everyone is fucking high as a kite.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't mind that.
You don't mind that, yeah.
But the whole
my point there was that I've noticed that they are skipping San Diego here and there.
Plenty of bands.
Crazy.
It's really bizarre, and it just gets me mad sometimes.
Yeah, and my original point was that someone came on, I think it was the Loons. I want to say it was the Loons. And they played a little bar out in, let's just say, Europe somewhere.
Right.
I don't know the exact bar. But people were coming to see them just because they heard that they were from San Diego.
Right. There's strangely a bunch of bands in San Diego that are really popular in Spain.
Crazy. Spain, okay.
Really popular. These bands, because of the band he was in, the Telltale Hearts, Bart's band, Manual Scan, those guys have all been over there. One year, I think, they did like a super group of San Diego dudes that were members, like Bart, and then the guys from Telltale Hearts.
That's awesome.
So there is like this weird love of San Diego garage rock in the bands that have come from here. That's why the Schizophonics have done so well over there. But Bart's going, I think Manual Scan or True Stories might be going, but this all, like Bart Mendoza's a rock star. Mike Stax is a rock star in Spain. Like they get treated really well and, doesn't sell millions of records, but yet there's like this thing and it's unique to there. It's weird.
I think the Schizophonics have their super group too, right? Isn't that with Elvez and maybe Pat Beers and a couple others?
Well, yeah, Pat and Letty and Elvez and other people from Fringes have been a part of several. I mean, they had the Little Richards. There's like been a bunch of those, kind of almost one-offs even.
Yeah.
Like they may only play one time.
Yeah. It's really nice chatting with you, buddy. I want to play a fun game with you. I'm going to put you on the spot here, all right?
Okay.
I'm going to play, it's called Play It Again, Troy. Jesus Christ. Fucking Troy. I'm going to play a local band for you, all right? And I want you to try to guess who it is. And I made some of these very easy for you.
Okay.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. It's just fun. This is going to be fun. You're going to know most of them, but it's going to be a short clip. If you need me to play it again, say Play It Again, Troy, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't that Danny Bell?
No.
Oh, it's a Aviator Stash.
Yeah. Aviator Stash. All right. One of one. You ready?
Isn't that your band?
You should know that. Oh, is that my band?
Or is that
No.
Aviator Stash? I mean, is that Avenue Army?
No. Good guess,
The
though.
Rough. Wait. Oh, it's Nights Like Thieves.
Yes. We're all in that little group together, man. Those are all my boys. All right. Here's another of my favorites. They're going to be on here next week.
Here comes the dread, the sudden apprehension. I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know if you played them, but they are scheduled to come on.
On what, my show?
Yep, on Loudspeaker. I'm sorry. Husband-wife duo. Yeah, you may not know this, but this is Infinite Signal.
Oh, yeah.
You just played their new release. You did just play them.
Good for
on
me.
Loudspeaker.
Good for me.
Yeah, cool. Good for you. Props to me, man. Props to me. You'll know this. Ooh, I'm putting you on the spot here. Come on.
That would be the Hot Snakes, Rocket from the Crypt.
Hey, Hot Snakes.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so the guy at the door at the Tower Bar said that he was in the Hot Snakes. Was he fucking with me, or is he in the Hot Snakes?
I don't know who works the door at Tower Bar.
Okay, never mind. You like this segment?
I love this segment.
You like it? Okay. All right.
It's just hot here.
It's warm.
It's warm in
it's a little warm.
in Bostonian today.
It's warm, dude. You'll know this one.
Schizophrenics? Yeah!
Schizophrenics.
I don't know if I heard that one yet. I got to get their new album. I don't have the new album.
Steely-Eyed Lady from People in the Sky. All right. Here's another one.
All night stand.
This game's dumb. Bart Mendoza and Manuel Scan.
All night.
I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
This is your band.
Yes! Ready, Set, Survive. I gotta throw them in there.
It's in the RSS feed.
Pop punkers. Little fuckers.
I know, aren't you too old for that?
I am a little bit, yeah. You're right. How about this?
What are you doing home on a Monday afternoon?
Fuck off. Well, legitimate question. So I'm in business for myself, man. I've worked so many shitty jobs throughout my lifetime that I decided to do my own thing. And I work from home. I have my own business. It's an entertainment company. We do like large scale events here in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
TNT Entertainment. So I'm talking to you, dude.
I know.
This is fucking priceless. You're getting comfortable over there, aren't you? Do you want some more whiskey?
I'm good.
Okay. All right.
I just had one sip of the vanilla Royal Crown Royal.
You don't have a company car here today.
I have a really nice rental car out there. Fat Landau of the band Hocus. A couple weeks ago, I had him on my show, and he parked right next to my vehicle. And he was in a family vehicle of his, but I guess he wasn't used to driving it. And he proceeded to open the door and then get out without putting the parking brake on or some shit like that. So the car proceeds to roll back, and the door goes right into my car and scrapes along the side of it. So I come outside, and I see his son and then him over by my car. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You taking a piss over there? It was my car. He didn't even realize it. He was writing a note.
Oh, was he?
I damaged your vehicle. So
that's nice of him.
I just dropped off my vehicle at Mark Motors right down the hill from here.
Yeah, Mark is good. He's on Greenfield.
Yep.
Here, they are very good.
So I have a really nice Range Rover, Land Rover rental.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did that
I'm ready to go up this hill by your house.
Right. Off-roading in El Cajon. You did that while you were out here, so that was kind of convenient for you, or was that?
Yeah, I dropped it off
that's cool.
at Mark Motors, had
perfect.
Enterprise pick me up, and then I just drove from Enterprise to here.
Okay.
To Bostonian.
Okay, very cool. We are almost done with you, Tim Pyles. I want to dream with you, though, all right? I want to have a quick dream segment. One band you want to see live that you haven't?
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace. If you could wave a magic wand and make one band never exist that's popular, who is really popular that you can't stand? Not to
Imagine Dragons.
Yes!
I could name more, but
we retired.
Third Eye Blind, too.
Third Eye Blind.
Fuck that guy.
That's so funny, you fucking... Yeah, he's douchebaggy, huh?
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah.
What was that? He wouldn't wear... I saw something about him. He wouldn't wear lanyards at his show backstage because he thought
he expected people to recognize him. Yeah.
Is there more douchebaggery with that guy?
The worst thing being he changed the band's record contract the night before and put it was all in his name.
What?
Yeah.
What
back when it all started happening, and yeah.
What's his name? Yeah, fuck it. It's not even promoted.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Something. Anyway.
I know Green Day got in a fight with him, a fist fight with him back in the 90s. Do you remember that?
Yep. And then there was an incident. Jimmy Eat World just toured with him, and there were quotes from the drummer, I think, that said they will never tour with them again, and horror stories.
That's a great answer. Imagine Dragons, I laugh because they've been brought up so many times on this podcast, and we retired them. We retired them and Nickelback for the longest time.
Sure, yeah.
So anyways, moving on here, Dreamin' with Tim Pyles. If you could bring one band or musician back from the dead, who would it be? And you mentioned Amy Winehouse, which
Jimi
is a
Hendrix.
good one. Hendrix?
No.
Another 27.
Or Jim Morrison.
Another 27.
Maybe Jim Morrison.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I agree. Big Doors guy?
Yes.
Hell yes. Totally. Over all that 60s zombies and all that stuff?
I love that decade more than any decade, I think, pretty much. It was the decade I was born, the birth of the Beatles and
absolutely
everything that spawned until the overindulgence of the 70s. But, the 60s were great.
Yeah, I agree. Favorite decade for me as well. Last question, buddy. What are your long-term goals, man? Are you on the right track? What's your 5-year goal? What are your dreams, man?
Currently, I'm on day 23 of visiting Disneyland since May 8th. So my goal is at least to get 30 days into Disneyland on my year pass. So I'm on my way.
23 since May 8th.
Yeah, so I've experienced Batu
that is insane.
and Galaxy's Edge quite a bit. I've enjoyed that, and that's been a diversion from the last 20 years. Like, music has driven everything in my life. Not so much film or books or any other things that people do, sports, especially since the Chargers left. But music has so much been my life, and it's just been a nice distraction. So my wife got me a pass for my birthday, and
that's awesome.
I'm perfectly fine being by myself, and I just go to Disneyland when I feel like it, and I've been a lot.
Do crowds bother you?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
They bug me.
If it's nuts to butts, it's going to bother me, but if it's manageable, it's manageable. I don't care. I'm good.
How is the new Star Wars area? What are some highlights of that? What's one cool thing about that?
3 cool things?
Yeah. Let's do
First up is the ride, Smuggler's Run,
okay,
which is fun. You get to kind of you can be a pilot, an engineer, or a bombardier within the Millennium Falcon, so that's cool. The bar, the cantina, Oga's Cantina is pretty cool. It's difficult to get into.
The music nonstop.
Well, it's not that. There's a whole DJ set. They got DJ Rex up there.
DJ Rex.
Spinning tunes. And
really?
Then,
okay. Do you know him personally? Or you just kind of met him?
Okay. It's an animatronic.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. that went over my head. Dude, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
And then I built a droid. They have a droid factory, and I have a really cool remote control droid at home. I'm really excited about it.
Really? When are you bringing me to Disneyland, bro?
Let's go with Lyric. Come on.
That'd be really cool.
Has she been?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course. A few times.
You'd be a bad father if you hadn't taken your daughter to Disneyland by now. Because she is a princess.
She is. And we did California Adventure. You probably know the grotto that they used to have where you can dine with the princesses. Sure. And it's all, overpriced.
That's on my list to do.
Overpriced food.
I want to dine with the princesses.
It's pretty cool. It's not there anymore, so sorry.
Well, they have other dining with princesses experiences available.
They do.
That I'm sure to get in on.
Do you, long term, do you want to stay doing what you're doing locally? I get the feeling you want to find that next big band, right? Is that your search?
If that's even a thing anymore, but
sure.
I'm always looking for that band that I want to help get to the next level. And a young band is always nice, that hasn't been jaded by other things. So, and
we've mentioned a few.
The band right now for me is Ignorant Benches.
Okay.
They're a young band from Chula Vista. Their oldest member is 19. The rest of them are all in high school. And through me playing them on my radio show, Louis XIV and the Killers have become aware of them, or at least people within those two bands' camps. So those kids just opened for Kooning. Dave Kooning's a local resident. He's an original member of the Killers. Doesn't tour with them anymore, but he lives locally. And so they might be producing an album with him.
Wow,
so
that's pretty big.
There's a couple things going on for that young band, and to me, they're pretty amazing. They're what I want, a guitar band, but they're also
you like that style?
Yeah, well, I mean, even pop punk is that. I mean, that's what it is,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah,
the guitar, bass, and drums, and a vocalist.
They've got that Stroke sound.
Strokes
100%.
meet the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So that's kind of an exciting thing. I mean, Schizophonics were that band. I mean, but
yeah,
you know, I just end up opening the floodgates. Is kind of like it's more I like being Switzerland. I don't necessarily want to be associated with any band. Like, I want to be the person that bands feel comfortable coming to.
Right.
And I want to support all bands. I don't want to just be like the cool guy that just supports the cool bands, you know.
Right.
Even though I'm not like the biggest fan of reggae, you know, like I'm still playing those bands, even though
play it all, dude.
Pop punk is not, you know, it's still, I do enjoy pop punk. It's just,
sometimes.
I think at that point in the late 90s, it was just so overwhelming that that's what every young band was doing in San Diego.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now it's better because I can handle that there's just a couple doing it, and the sound of San Diego is so diverse, right? There is no sound of San Diego.
It really is, yeah. You say like surf rock and reggae, and I think to myself, you know, I don't really have that outlook on San Diego personally, but...
Well, look where you grew up.
Yeah, true.
It is.
If I was west of the 5, yeah.
There is you know... I mean, I grew up in La Jolla, and, you know, that was even isolated. You know, man, I was in a little bubble, really. You know, that's why when I joined the scooter club and got into that whole culture, had a scooter, I started hanging out with kids all over the city. And that was a much better perspective on the world,
right?
Really,
sure.
You know, because La Jolla is awesome, but it's also, it is a freaking bubble, and it's, you know, you're kind of isolated. You know, there's only so many ways in, and
La Jolla seems a little, even if I had like all the money in the world, it seems a little too ritzy for me, personally. But I am an East County boy.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, I love Wind and Sea, Marine Street. The beaches those are my favorite beaches.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I always make a point to go to Marine Street every summer, a little bit at least.
Yeah. Do you ever get sick of music? Do you ever listen to talk radio just to take a break or silence or?
No talk radio, no podcast, just music.
All local music for you for the most part?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Because I have that new music show. So
yeah, you have FTW, yeah.
I just listen to music.
Cool.
Put it that way.
Right on. That's good to hear. Dude, I have to compliment you, Tim. You really do support the scene. You know, not to hate on other stations, but I feel like 91X here in San Diego really does their part to, like, support locals 100%, man. I mean, and like you said, like, you don't have to like the band to play them. You play everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So how can these bands listening get in touch with you and have you play them?
If you're over 21, come to the Moreau.
Come to the Moreau. What night? Any night?
I'm there every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday night?
So I host a night there.
Sure.
And it's not the most popular night of the week. I get it. It's Tuesday, and we struggle. But that is the best place. I want to shake your hand, knuckle bump, high five, or hug, and meet you personally. Like, if you believe in your band, then come by and say hi. Like, I don't bite. And
more about like eye contact and like a handshake these days than it is like a nice demo and press pack and all that shit. I mean, do you even need that these days?
No. I want to meet you.
Right.
I want to see where you're coming from, and yeah.
Right on.
But you can email me music. I mean, send me wave files to pyles@91x.com, Pyles at 91x.com. I prefer, it's got to be a wave file over an MP3, full fidelity. And the best thing though, really, is if you're in a band and you believe in yourself, like, believe me, I can help you.
Yeah.
And it's on you, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I go find bands too, and I'll make an effort, but like, being in a band is a business, so you got to like take it seriously.
Yeah. And bug the fuck out of Tim. If he's not playing you, like, just be that squeaky wheel. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
Right?
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
No. I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's a very true statement.
And you're busy, too. You know, I think it
my
doesn't
attention,
hurt to follow up with you.
Yeah.
To get played.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
I really don't mean to bug you. I don't want any bands out there to do that.
No, we become friends. You know, like
we are friends.
I never knew you before.
Sure.
You've been in this town for a long time, been in other bands. I don't remember ever meeting you before. You have a strong personality, which surprises me. We've never met before until.
Yeah, that is
I
kinda
feel like
strange.
it's only been a few years, and
right.
I mean, maybe it's.
Well, Ready Set Survive is 3 years. I've been playing here locally off and on for 20 years since fucking 1998.
so I'm surprised maybe I didn't meet you in that time period. What I was talking about when Blink-182 was driving the culture of local bands.
Yeah.
What was your band again back then?
Well, I had Fat Chance, and then I had 20-Year Fix, and then I was in Bankers Hill. With,
I remember 20-Year Fix, and then Bankers Hill. That was the guy that worked at Alpine Brewery.
Exactly. Scott Holst was the singer, and Darren from The Rough was the drummer.
Right. So I may have met you through that first.
Possibly, but I do have to say I'm a little more involved with the scene. I don't know what it is.
Well, what happens is...
I would think that I'd be more involved when I was younger.
True.
Than older, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean...
I'm 39 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I don't know. I just a different perspective on life.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I really do love music. Let's help. Let's do something. You know, I've kind of gotten older and figured out what it is that I want to do, and my passions maybe a little bit more.
Your daughter's older. I mean, that happens a lot too, where these bands have kids or life takes over. But usually it's the kids, and then the kids get old enough, then the band thing starts to come back into the forefront of the brain, and so then you find these guys, you know, in their mid-30s, and they're rocking again.
For me, having a kid never got in the way at all.
It's just,
if anything, you know, I know what you mean, though. 100%.
You've got to settle down a little.
100%. I do know what you mean. There's a lot of bands, and I totally discourage them from that. Like, don't let having a child break up your band. Like the drummer from Nights Like Thieves, he's having a kid, so he left the band. Nights Like Thieves, very active band.
Yep.
That's doing a lot of great things. And my advice to him would be, you know, you're probably going to regret that in 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, but also...
You know? You can manage both.
But you're at that point. He wants to go on tour. I'm assuming.
Mario does want to hit the road.
You can't just be, you know, if you want to just be in a local band, that can work. But man, you know, wives and even the dude playing drums, you know, I would think that would be rough.
Yeah.
For the benefit of that little person.
How am I doing here? Was this a pretty good interview?
You're great, brother.
Right. Doing okay?
Except for Name That Tune, but no.
You didn't like the Name That Tune? I can take that whole fucking thing out.
I'm fine.
Dude, Tim, I love you, brother.
I love you too,
really,
Troy
thank
Cook.
you so much for doing what you do for San Diego. Lamar.
Lamar?
My initials are TLC. My mom was a Uber hippie. TLC, they did that. I was named after Troy Donahue. And Lamar, the C. I was born...
Not Headley Lamar? No, I don't know what that is.
I don't even know what that is. Lamar in Spanish means the sea, and I was born by the ocean. So Troy Lamar Cook, yeah. What's your middle name?
Edwin, after my grandfather.
Ah, very cool. Timothy Edwin Pyles.
That's me.
I love it.
T-E-P.
T-E-P.
F-T-P.
I am going to get you tattooed somewhere on my body. All right?
Okay.
But you have to get the RSS logo tattooed somewhere on your body.
Oh, man. We'll see about
Tim,
that.
You're like, fuck you. Tim's going to jump in the pool. Dude, love you, brother. Again, thank you so much. Really, I mean that. I don't mean to kiss your ass. You're just, thanks for doing what you do. I know you put a lot of fucking time into it. No, I'm not an ass kisser, dude. I'm really not.
I know. I figured
You've heard. You were going to say you heard.
No.
But no, I give credit where credit's due, man. And you do a lot. So thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure chatting with you and learning more about you. I hope all the listeners. Yeah, that's my daughter's name on my arm, Lyric Harmony.
So you've kept the hippie tradition.
Yeah.
Like your mother did.
Getting the names tattooed. Oh, you mean the middle name?
Lyric Harmony is kind of a hippie. You said your parents were kind of hippies, right?
Yeah. Well, Lyric Harmony is musical.
True.
You know.
But it's also a little hippie.
It's a little hippie.
It's a beautiful name. I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just
talk
saying,
shit about my daughter, Tim.
I'm talking to her face. Where is she? Yeah. Bring her over here.
She's at school. She's right down the street, first grader. She's doing really well.
Lyric!
What should we end the episode with? Give me a band.
Oh, man. Okay, I got one for you.
Cool.
That would be The Undertaking.
Yes!
Why not?
I love that you said that, man.
You're wearing a t-shirt.
Dude, we just had them on. They just released About Ghosts.
Yeah.
The Undertaking.
I played it.
Yeah, man. They're really cool guys. We just had all of them on here. Palapalooza. We'll end with their new song about ghosts.
Palapalooza.
Palapalooza. Start saying that shit right on 91X, man.
Palapalooza.
Palapa?
Palooza.
No, Luza.
Palapalooza.
So it's a play on words with Lollapalooza.
I know.
You know, fucking dude. Jesus, this guy talks for a living. You believe this? No. Tim, love you, brother.
I'm dyslexic, sorry.
We're out of here. Are you really?
I think so.
Oh, you're okay.
Never diagnosed, but.
This has been Palapalooza with Tim Pyles. Tune into his show every Sunday night, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. on 91X. Thanks, Tim.
I self-medicate.
You self-medicate. Later. One, two, three, four. Palapalooza. Palapalooza. We're talking to you. I'm Palapalooza. Hey! Word!